So the card of today is mind, body, heart, and spirit integration. Integration is all about connectedness and wholeness. And when we're talking about integration in this aspect, it's about the coming together of all the various parts of you. And so to work with this card and understand this card, we firstly need to acknowledge that we have many aspects to ourselves. We have different parts of ourselves, and each of them serve us in its unique way. And one of the challenges we have is how these all come into unity. And this is really the consciousness of oneness, the consciousness of truly stepping into a sense of peace. And so that's the outcome of integration, is that there is no part of myself at odds with another part of myself. And when I say this, it seems weird to say that, but most of us can understand the dilemma of my head wanting one thing and my heart wanting another. And so there's these different dynamics and how we bring them together, how we make peace, how they play nice and start to all live in harmony together is a really important part of living an authentic life, of really coming to a place of feeling content and in love and at peace with yourself. The imagery on this card is this beautiful interwoven, multicolored plait, so to speak. And really what's powerful about this card is you don't lose the identity of the color when it's integrated into the others. It's still there. It's still got its own thread. It's still got its own sense of contribution. And this is an important dynamic, is what does my body contribute to my life? What does my mind contribute to my life? What does my heart contribute to my life? And what does my spirit contribute to my life? Not which one is right and which one should be in the driver's seat and which one should be dominating. All four of these perspectives, all four of these parts of yourself are equally valid and equally important and have different needs and have different desires. So integration is not about mediation. It's not about the war of these things and having another part of us trying to decide who's right and who's wrong. It's about truly noticing, how do they complement each other? How do these various aspects of ourselves serve us? So this is a very, very big topic, and we could do a course for days around each of these bodies and understanding them. But I'm going to give you a very, very, very short overview of each one and how integration works. So the first one is, if we have a look at our physical body, we have a physical form that has needs. The physical form responds to pleasure. Our physical body just wants to be nurtured and cared for, in the sense of, what are the physical needs that we have? Sleep, rest, food, sex, all the things that are basic physical needs. Now, you have a body that is serving you every minute of every day. Your body gets up every morning and does a whole lot of things just to get you through the day. It does not need to be attacked. It does not need to be hated. It needs to be pampered and nurtured and cared for and loved. In the same way as a child needs to be comforted and held, your body responds to care, to pleasure, to comfort. Most of us have a very, very strong love-hate relationship with our body. We disregard how much it's doing for us and keep abusing it. Not necessarily abusing it with the typical abuse strategies of not feeding it well, or etc., but the abuse strategies of fighting. When your body is ill, it's asking for something. When you have a pain in some part of your body, it's asking for care. It's crying out for attention. And this is a primary body for us to take care of, because it is where disease manifests itself. If we do not care for ourselves physically, and most of those diseases are because of this hatred towards ourselves. So you cannot heal anything you hate. So making love to your body is a really important aspect of integration. Then we get the emotional body, and this you can think of as the inner child. This is really the part of you that has vulnerabilities and insecurities. It is the whole part of your memories, the feeling of fear and not being loved. And the emotional body responds to compassion. It responds to kindness. It responds to nurturing. It responds to a sense of acceptance. Like a child that has needs, that has insecurities and fears, and that child does not respond well to being judged continuously. How do you accept your emotional experiences and flow with them? What's a really important part of the emotional body is the flow. This is the body that responds best to the thought about water. Like water needs to flow. Emotions need to flow. They do not need to be held onto and kept in one state forever. You will have moments of joy, moments of insecurity, moments of fear. Flowing with them is quite important. And having a sense of intimacy and dialogue and compassion with your emotions is an important part of integration. Acknowledging it as part of the human experience. Then we have a mental body, which many of us know of, and it's often referred to as the ego, and this is the construct of thought. This is the way that we try and rationalize and intellectualize the world. It's our sense of logic, and the mind is a very strong way of trying to make sure everything is under control. This poor mind of ours. And the mind responds best to understanding. It wants to understand. But what it needs more than understanding is it needs a job. Our mind needs a task. It's like a puppy dog that needs to be trained. It needs to be given work to do. If you don't give it a job, it makes shit up. Yeah? So if I give my mind a job, like I want to write a book, please can you figure out how to do that? That's a good job for my mind to have. If I'm sitting here and letting my mind decide for itself, it's going to go, what if I was in an earthquake? Imagine if this goes on. It's just going to come up with random crap, and it's going to make you feel terrible because there's a relationship between it. So one of the things that we need to understand is you have a mind, give it tasks. Give it work to do. It is the workhorse for you. And it's a powerful engine for creation. It's a powerful engine for logic. It makes things happen. It's the masculine energy in us that is in relation to the feminine energy of the emotional body. And they need to work together. But often, we have one of the bodies beating up one of the others. Often the mental body is beating up the other bodies. Yeah? And then we have a spiritual body, which is our sense of connection to divinity, to our spirit, to whichever way you want to think of anything bigger than yourself. It's your connection to that which exists beyond time and space. It's your sense of awe. It's your sense of I amness. It's the sense of more. It comes with your connection to your divine talents, your gifts, your purpose, your inspirations. And to live connected to your spirit means that you need to live acting on your inspirations. What inspires you? What turns you on? What intrigues you? What are you curious about? What are the questions that seduce you into more? And this is the spiritual body. And we need to understand that for integration, there's a part of you that's bigger than all four of these, that has the ability to notice each one of these aspects and to value it for what it offers you in this very whole life that you're living. A very simple meditation that I'll offer you, and it's the simplest way that I know to work with clients to get them to a place of noticing, giving attention to the four bodies, is a very simple meditation. And the meditation is simply answering these 5 questions. My body is, and write down the word that comes up first for you. My heart is. My mind is. My spirit is. I am. And if you notice those 5 answers, suddenly you've paid attention to all aspects of yourself. And it doesn't matter if they are not in alignment. Once you give them attention, they feel valued. Another way of doing it is my body needs, my heart needs, my mind needs, my spirit needs, I desire. And you can answer those questions as a way of noticing what it is you need to be doing to bring yourself to a place of integration at this point in time. Very powerful meditation to do every day. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.
Get your very own deck of I Am Lightwalker cards straight from Taryn by visiting IamLightwalker.com/cards.